tonight on the Chillstream. Happy 420, yo. We made it through the 2024 halving, and the block reward is down to 3.125 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. Things are about to get interesting. Mark Zuckerberg continues his journey towards the White House. And Elon Musk goes completely out of his mind. All of that, so much more. We are dominating the planet. I got the proof. See you guys in 2 minutes. And we're back. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the show. It is, what is today? Monday, the 22nd, right? Yeah, Monday the 22nd, I think. We made it sometime between 419 and 420. The halving occurred. This is a pretty significant one. A lot of exciting stuff. Even though Friday, the entire global media try to convince you that World War III was kicking off because, because of the situation in the Middle East. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't change very much. We are winning. They are going to lose. They're going to lose, and we are going to win. And that's just the way it is. You cannot, there's nothing you do to change that fact. From Thailand to Poland to Iraq to Africa, everywhere, we're going to win. And there's nothing they can do to stop us. And we do nothing except hurt them. We hurt them. We punish them constantly. Story that Starbucks stock at its lowest price of the year, while the rest of the market is screaming over $20 billion in losses since the boycott started on October 7th. Free Palestine. Keep up the boycott. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. Do not stop. You must be relentless. You must be relentless. And the reason why is because they're not going to stop, right? They're not going to stop doing what they're doing, and we have to punish them, right? And the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking away. This is a chart of how much interest the United States is paying on its debt. We have officially hit $1 trillion in interest payments alone. That is not good. There's nothing that's going to stop them except us. We are going to stop them. How are we going to stop them? Well, Bitcoin fixes this. I got a ridiculous amount of stuff. I really um, did not organize it as well as I should have, because today I went out and did something that I had intended to do for a while, and I'm all jazzed up. I'm super excited. But there it is, the halving. Lightning has struck, and there is half the amount of Bitcoin available that per day than there was 2 days ago, and that not tomorrow, but it's going to be very, very significant thing. How significant? Everybody around the world is like freaking out. They're like just freaking out. Who's freaking out the most? Where is it? Oh, I didn't see that one. Oh, come on! I lost the guy. I lost one. We have a comment. Virtual Doc, Purple Heart. Welcome to the show, sir. So yeah, this is kind of a big deal, right? It's how big of a deal is it? China is losing its shit. China here is warning the Chinese in Angola, right, to stop mining cryptocurrencies. They never mentioned Bitcoin directly, but it means Bitcoin. They aren't mining shitcoins, they're mining Bitcoin. China desperately trying to control people outside of China, and Angola is in Africa. There's some other countries in Africa where our friend or fellow Bitcoiner, Jack Dorsey, is using a volcano in Kenya. I didn't even know they had one. So Jack Dorsey using volcano power in Kenya to mine Bitcoin, along with Bitcoin mines in Malawi and Zambia. So, and any energy that is not used to mine Bitcoin, he sends to the local village, which is probably the first time those Africans have ever had electricity ever. There's tons and tons of excess capacity in the so-called third world in terms of power generation, and Bitcoiners are using it everywhere, like everywhere. And we are just winning like nonstop. I got a 6-second, little short 6-second video, but this is like what you saw in Mexico a while back, or I showed in Mexico. Our men, or our people, I should say, in the former Eastern Bloc, doing some activism. Only 6 really short seconds. Projecting the Bitcoin logo onto Poland's second tallest building. So what? It's a big deal. It's activism. This is a way of getting your message out with them unable to stop us. There are other lots of places around the world where they're excited about Bitcoin. One of them is Thailand. Yes, Thailand, the land of smiles. Check it out.
Bitcoin halving commercial. Bangkok, Thailand.
Bitcoin halving commercial on Bangkok, Thailand subways, but not just on the subways, it's on the highways as well.
Check that out. Bitcoin halving. Today is the 16th of April as we go into Bangkok. 3 days, 23 hours, 49 minutes.
When I tell you we're winning the planet, we are winning the planet everywhere. Poland, Thailand, everywhere. I had a story here. It wasn't a video. It was a story about Fiji. Where's the Fiji story? Can't find the Fiji story. Where's Fiji? Fiji. Damn it, I don't have it. The nation of Fiji is warning people, do not mine crypto. Do not mine crypto. Because that's, I don't know, they're afraid it's going to cause global warming and make the island of Fiji flip over and sink in the ocean. I don't know. But like I said, we are totally, completely winning every fucking where. Everywhere. Because everything else is, to be perfectly honest, is going to shit. But I got stories that are so fucking crazy. I swear to God, I don't know where to start. Um, Here's a quick one. It should be obvious by now, but Germany's largest federal bank, whatever LBWW, whatever, um, to provide crypto and Bitcoin and crypto custody services. So the Germany has joined the chat. This next story is one of those. It's uh, this is where they try to hide things, but it's tough. It's kind of tough to hide. In Iraq, yes, the country we were at war in for 20 years. The Iraqi government said they're looking to help clean up the environment by getting rid of their flare gas. That excess natural gas that comes when you pump oil. Now, in this statement, the Iraqi spokesman goes out of his way not to say the B word. He doesn't say cryptocurrency. He doesn't say the B word, but they want to join the international community in getting rid of this awful, horrible flare gas. Well, how are they going to do it? The way Exxon does it, by mining Bitcoin, the way Royal Dutch Shell does it, by mining Bitcoin, the way Qatar does it, by mining Bitcoin. How do you think they're going to do it? Now, this story is interesting because the country with the government, I should say, with the most Bitcoin on the face of the earth is the US government, but it's all been seized from criminals, the Bitfinex hackers, which they're going to make a movie about, and these other various different criminal persons. And that property eventually has to be either auctioned off or given back to the victims. So there are people looking at that. Iraq wants to join in the flare gas party, doing something right. But not avoiding mining Bitcoin. But people are thinking that is the American government covertly going to mine Bitcoin in Iraq using their flare gas, and or or is it some entrepreneurs, or is it the CIA, or who knows? Like, we don't know. Like, we don't know, but it's super interesting that in Iraq, a nation that we pounded into rubble because they threatened Israel and the petrodollar, all of a sudden they're on the Bitcoin train. They're on the Bitcoin train. Everybody's on the Bitcoin train, and everybody's got Bitcoin on the brain. This is our girl, Polish girl, by the way, Natalie Brunel. I got some video of her absolutely crushing it later on. But she has a YouTube channel, and this is one of her more recent uploads. New Bitcoin spy thriller about Satoshi and the CIA made New York Times bestseller list. So, you remember how I said the CIA would send all Bitcoin to all their little minions around the globe? Well, now they've novelized, what everyone with two living brain cells knew that they were doing anyway. And it's surprise, surprise. The book is on the New York Times bestseller list. Heroic, American spooks who are not really drug dealers and pedos, but they're fighting for freedom in the dark alleyways of something, and using Bitcoin to save humanity, or whatever. Who the fuck knows? I don't know what the storyline is, but it's of course total shit. It's absolute total shit. But it's crazy what people can see and they can't see, and then when things turn around like this fucking fast, it's absolutely hilarious, and I love the whiplash of it. I mentioned that guy Robert Breedlove. He loves Governor Abbott because Governor Abbott's going to seal the border or whatever he thinks he's going to do, but he has doubts about Javier Milei in Argentina. And Breedlove, this is, when I talk about selective attention, when I talk about people can be literally right on top of something and they don't see it, they just don't fucking see it. And sometimes I open up like YouTube or one of these platforms and I think, oh, for Christ's sake, are they fucking with me? Like, how could they possibly troll me like this? But this is not a troll. This is not a troll. This is not a Photoshop. This is Robert Breedlove on his YouTube channel, The Jewish Perspective on Money, with Rabbi Daniel Lapin or whatever. Like, dude, how do you not notice that every central banker is a small hat? How do you, like, how they just don't see it? They don't see it. And I sit here and I see that I didn't click on that video. I wouldn't waste 2 seconds of my life on it. But I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. This guy is like, you know, it's insane. That's the kind of thing that makes me that makes me think, you know, that they're seriously fucking with this. Where's my guy? All right. I've mentioned in the past that if you are a Christian and you're a Bitcoiner, dude, I can get along with you. You know what I mean? As long as I don't have to do whatever you want me to do. But here's a Christian argument for the use of Bitcoin.
The money's not sound because they keep printing more money. That goes back to that unequal weights and measures. It's like having your thumb on the scale, diluting the wine with water. We take our time, our energy, and our talent to create dollars, and more dollars get printed in the future. That dilutes the purchasing power of our time, energy, and talent that we put in before. And so that's the same thing as diluting the wine with water.
Yes.
They're diluting the potency of the wine, and so that's unjust weight and measure. So that's the Christian view. But you could look at other world's religions. In the Islamic religion, riba is paying interest or receiving interest.
Okay, so usury, basically.
Yeah, usury. So if you look into that, the world's financial system is all based on paying interest and receiving interest. So there's approximately 2 billion Muslims out there whose the current financial system isn't compliant with the religion. And so you look at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is compliant with the Muslim religion.
So, the Christians and the Muslims are going to get together and do Bitcoin. The small hats have to be fucking losing it. They must be completely losing it. But yeah, the unjust. By the way, I mix wine with water all the time, bro. You do it so you don't get dehydrated. But he's whatever. I doubt that guy's ever had a drink. But you know, like I said, I can get, as long as these people, if they want to view this through the lens of their religion, as long as you're doing this, you are on the right side of things. You are helping to create a better world, even though there's tons of people, tons and tons of people who are like Kanye. You think Kanye was the only one? You think Cat Williams was the only one? You think Dave Chappelle was the only one? No. There was a comedian named Norm Macdonald who had his career ruined. I don't know if I mentioned this last week. Supposedly after there was a dinner after Saturday Night Live one time, and Harvey Weinstein was there. And Harvey Weinstein was saying, "Isn't this guy a genius?" And Norm Macdonald said, "Boy, is he good at math or something like that?" And Harvey Weinstein basically crushed Norm Macdonald's career after that. But there's still funny stories from behind the scenes at SNL, and maybe one of the most famous Hollywood homosexuals, John Travolta, once did Saturday Night Live, and there's a Norm Macdonald anecdote about John Travolta and Saturday Night Live. I think you guys will be amused by this.
Around Pulp Fiction, I would assume, when Travolta was hosting.
At the height of his fame.
Yeah. Guest host did not come in until the night of the show or whatever, and the dress rehearsal.
Right.
But he said Travolta was very hands-on. He went into the writer's room the week before and brought in a ton of his own sketches that he wrote that he wanted to pitch.
Yeah.
And they were all excited. And Norm said they were all at least borderline or completely full-blown racist. And he said, so the one he remembered that he recounted to me was, he said there was this one sketch Travolta was pitching where he said, all right, it's a Jewish PI in the vein of Columbo, and his name is Shlomo Pennypincher. And he's like, I know you were there on June 21st, and I can pin the murder on it. Oh, is that a quarter? And he said the whole writer's room is just mouth agape. shocked Norm just cackling.
They all do it, man. Everybody does it. They all do it. They all try to, the level of resentment is just enormous. But the comedy of that, showing how dumb John Travolta is that one, Columbo was, Peter Falk was Jewish. So it's like, I don't think he understood. It's so weird how, again, even these people that are in the middle of it and in the middle of, or spend their entire life and have their lives work and their fortunes tied to these people, or tied to the relationships of these people, they still twist it up. They still twist it up, and it's funny because behind the scenes everybody knows and nobody says, right? Everybody knows, nobody says. What's going on? What else is going on? Man, I got so many videos. I got like a ridiculous number of videos, and some other stuff. Where's my other screen share? So we did CIA coin. We did Breed Love is Blind. $1 trillion in interest. Here's the sickest thing. This is why I think sometimes I think I need to clear my head. But I'm going to show you this next screen share. You're not going to believe this. And when I saw it, I thought it was a parody, but it is not a parody. The IMF, yes, that IMF says Bitcoin has become a necessary financial tool for preserving wealth amid financial instability. I can't believe that that's an actual story, but that is an actual story in an official statement by the IMF. They're saying that if you want to avoid the negative consequences of financial instability, you're going to need some Bitcoin. Let's go back to looking at this. Does this look financially stable? $1 trillion in interest? In interest payments alone on the debt, just in interest payments. It's, people do not understand how big of a deal this is, and around the world, how everyone's going out of their minds. Places, I pointed out a couple of weeks ago that there was a building on 61 Wall Street that the owners of which walked away from the mortgage that was $250 million. They just walked away from it, as super smart real estate geniuses. But this from the Wall Street Journal. Wall Street has abandoned Wall Street. There are no more offices of any financial companies anywhere actually on Wall Street. Nobody wants to be there. They just, it's downtown Manhattan. Nobody wants to be in New York. Nobody wants to deal with the crime. Nobody wants to pay the taxes. They're all doing a virtual thing from somewhere else. So Wall Street has gone virtual, even without trying. There are some Wall Streeters whose time is going to pass. This is like Bitcoiner's favorite whipping boy, Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan Chase. Jamie Dimon has said, and he said this multiple times, Bitcoin is a fraud. There's no hope in Bitcoin as a currency. Jamie Dimon hates Bitcoin with a fucking passion, and everyone thinks he's secretly buying it behind the scenes, and I don't think so. I think he fucking hates it. He's made $1 gazillion. I think he just made like $183 million, or cashed in $183 million worth of stock recently. He's making a mountain of fiat in the current system. He does not like Bitcoin. He's not publicly shitting on it and secretly fucking loading up on it. He fucking hates it. He hates it. And you at some point, I've said this before, when people tell you who they are, believe them. You know what I mean? If Larry Fink started out one way and Larry Fink has now come around, And Jamie Dimon started out one way. I fucking hate this thing, and he still hates this. So he's whatever. He is what he is. But around the world, this thing has gotten in so many people's minds. All of these fucking gangster criminals that run fucking government, that run governments, the BRICS nations. BlackRock uses Bitcoin as an inflation hedge against the United USD worries. Yeah, so does everyone else. BlackRock is late to this fucking party. We've been here for a very fucking long time. We understand fix the money, fix the world, and they've come to us. We didn't go to them. And that is critical. That is critical. What is this? Yeah. All right. So yeah, I might as well show it. There's a company called NVIDIA. They make the chips that are mostly used to mine Bitcoin. And their CEO is a Chinese guy who grew up in Kentucky and worked in Denny's. He worked in a Denny's as a dishwasher and everything else. But all the chips that run the world are made by his company, NVIDIA, and they don't control him, and they fucking hate him. And they're trying to knock him off the #1 spot, but that's not really going to happen. So Microsoft is going to spend $100 billion to link whatever, I don't know, a million servers, all of which have NVIDIA chips in them, into a data center that will, they say, use in-house components. It's bullshit. They're trying to knock this guy out of the box. And that isn't going to happen because this guy is this guy's a very, very. I'm gonna show some video of him in the coming weeks. Very, very different CEO. A Chinese guy who eats pigs in blankets and used to fucking clean toilets. Right. This is like part of a speech he gave at Stanford University. He says, I've cleaned more toilets than all of you combined. NVIDIA founder Jensen Huang says he wishes pain and suffering on Stanford students. Here's why and what he learned from his rise. And what he said was, listen, greatness doesn't come from intelligence. Greatness comes from character, and character is formed by pain and suffering. And all you people at Stanford, all you super elites, he said, you have high expectations. He said, and that you will never achieve greatness because people with high expectations have very low resilience. You can't take a hit. You can't, there's no resilience in you, right? The dude from Manhattan who got fucking swindled by Bernie Madoff out of $20 million, but still had $10 million in his bank account, killed himself because he has no resilience. You know what I mean? Jensen Huang, born in Taiwan, raised in fucking Kentucky, worked in a fucking Denny's, cleaned toilets, waited tables. He was a dishwasher. Now he's worth something like 82 billion or something like that. And he makes the chips that mine Bitcoin. That he makes the chips that fucking mine Bitcoin everywhere. This next video, 21 second, I don't know, open letter to sweetheart letter to Jensen Huang.
Right.
Look at the fucking size of that thing. I have no idea where it is. I just saw the video. That's a Bitcoin mining operation somewhere. I have no idea. Is it in the desert somewhere? I have no idea. But all of those things that rows and rows and stacks and stacks and stacks of those miners are all run with NVIDIA chips. All of them run with NVIDIA chips. And America hates that. They want to destroy him, and they're not going to. Why? Because what do we need, everyone? We need AI. Power hungry AI, putting the hurt on global electricity supply. And then I can't read what I underlined, but it's something like, the the world needs to double or triple. The world's going to run out of electricity unless we double or triple our capacity, right? And how are we going to do that? How are we going to do that? Of course, we're going to do it with nuclear power. Nuclear power, which was deadly dangerous, is going to kill everybody, give you cancer, and make your baby be born with 6 toes and a fucking third eye in the middle of its head. All of a sudden, is going to be completely rehabilitated. And part of that is going to be, who's going to do that? Our favorite little midgety small hat, none other than the future president of the United States, Mark Zuckerberg.
Then when you start getting into building a data center that's like 300 megawatts or 500 megawatts or a gigawatt, just no one has built a single gigawatt data center yet. So just to, I guess, put this in perspective, I think a gigawatt, it's like around the size of like a meaningful nuclear power plant only going towards training a model.
By the way, he's practicing his presidential delivery. It's, you know what? It's, you know, this is all, he's literally practicing his delivery for when he becomes president. And they really want to make him president. I named tonight's stream Path to Victory. And I've made it, you know, the path to victory for people who want to be free is Bitcoin. That much is obvious. That's not why I did that. I found this video, I got 42-second video that should light a fire underneath your ass, because the Constitution burners do not ever sleep. And I think they've come up with quite a winning combination. I didn't know this was happening. They are very close to getting this, and then they'll have it. I don't know if this election cycle, but if they lock it down this election cycle, it'll be interesting. But they'll certainly have it for 2028. Check this thing out. It's 42 seconds. 42 seconds of how the Constitution will be fucking dismantled legally.
Maine has joined a national popular vote effort. It's called the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact, and it's a group of states that's trying to transform how presidents are elected in the U.S. 16 states plus Washington, D.C. have now pledged to award their electoral votes to the presidential candidate who wins the national popular vote. Right now, that adds up to 209 electoral votes, but this compact will only happen once that group hits 270 votes. Support for a national popular vote compact has grown recently, as 2 of the last 4 presidents, George W. Bush and Donald Trump, were elected president despite losing the popular vote.
So there you go. Behind the scenes, somebody figured out a way. And I don't know the constitutionality of this. I don't know if that's going to be allowed or not be allowed. Is the Supreme Court going to knock it down? Who the fuck knows? I don't know. The states can do whatever they want with their electoral votes, can't they? I don't know that there's any prohibition on it. They can do. I have no idea. But this is their path to victory forever, right? AI data centers constantly fucking spinning propaganda into fucking people's heads, nonstop, custom tailored just for you. And no matter which way the election goes, they win, because the winner of the popular vote is going to win the presidency. So they get presidencies for life, right? I'm not saying you're going to have more than 2 terms, but they will decide who's popular, and that person will win every single time, no matter what. And as far as I know, from what that girl was saying, I think it's legal. You know what I mean? So they get that. Then the next thing will be, hey, you know what? The Supreme Court is too small. It's only 9 people. America's a huge country. It's 350 million people. We need to expand the Supreme Court to 27 people. You know what I mean? And 18 will be all straight up fucking communists, and they will completely overwhelm, whatever, fucking Clarence Thomas. He'll be dead by then. And all the rest of them will just get squashed. And then they'll go, oh, by the way, First Amendment, we don't need that. Second Amendment, we don't need that. Fourth Amendment, we don't need that. Sixth Amendment, we don't need that. And they're pushing for this constantly, everywhere at all, like everywhere at every level. There's a guy named Virginia lawyer named Doug Flutie, who has a YouTube channel, great YouTube channel. When I saw this, and this ties directly in general with the types of subjects I talk about, but in terms of constitution burning and shit coining, well, look at this. I got a video combining both of them. And law enforcement overreach. Check it out.
Forbes uncovered a disturbing story about the police trying to unmask the identity of someone who goes by the online screen name of Elon Musk WHM. The police can't figure out who or where he is. Then they get the bright idea to use a few YouTube videos as a honeypot. The police send Elon Musk WHM several links to YouTube videos about cryptocurrency. Then, the police get a court order for Google to cough up names, telephone numbers, and addresses for all viewers of these select videos. And this means that every person who watched this series of YouTube videos is now on a list of possible suspects for the police in some cryptocurrency scheme. This is why I think it's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. I think the founders would be horrified to see the Fourth Amendment being abused in this way.
My man Doug Flutie, the little bow tie thing, that's a gimmick to be on YouTube. But he's a lawyer in Virginia, and he's I'm not saying he's a Bitcoin guy, but he's a freedom guy, he's a Constitution guy, and as such I count him as our guy, because the rule set under which everybody operates is critical, and having people subvert that rule set is just not fucking good. So, and the reason why I showed that is because local cops, nobodies are doing the social media honeypot thing. That, you know, what the alphabet agencies were doing 5-6 years ago, you know, fucking Deputy Dog in fucking Clay County, Georgia is they're running ops like that through social media to achieve some aim, and that is a bit worrying when people that low down on the fucking totem pole are out to fucking entrap people. And then, by the way, if they want to know Elon Musk, he's a regular on the Chillstream. All you guys know him. I know him. He shows up every week. He says, "Hey, I got a video. Hey, James, why don't you show the video?" I'm like, "Okay, Elon, I'll show you the video."
Mr. Beast! Many M. Iluma! Wow! Many no many!
Holy shit. I think he's fucking on ketamine and LSD. He's throwing hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars of fiat into the fucking sky, yelling about Mr. Beast, the YouTuber. You know, maybe the police, I don't know, maybe the police want to arrest him. Maybe he is doing some nefarious things. Maybe he's doing something so fucking crazy that he needs to be stopped by law enforcement. I'm joking. The next financial crisis is coming. You know, I should have showed this earlier, right? I mentioned the 61 Wall Street. They walked away from a $250 million mortgage. It's not just New York City, which is the premier city in America, but it's also in the heartland, in the gateway. Here's a story about a building in the gateway to the west, St. Louis. Check it out.
Here's a fun one. The Wall Street Journal reported that the AT&T tower in downtown St. Louis sold for $3.5 million. What? It's 44 stories, almost 1.5 million square feet. And I'm not a mathematician, but I did a little calculating here. Carry the one. Oh, that's right. It sold for $2.40 a square foot. On what planet in a major American city are we selling real estate for $2.40 a square foot.
I don't know if you could see it in the background. That building in 2006 sold for $206 million and just was sold again for 3.5 million. So 206 down to 3.5. What is that? Like a 97% loss? 97% loss. Because who the fuck is gonna? There's no more office workers. AI. If AI doesn't take your job, you know what I mean? All these fucking gigantic office towers are gonna fucking go empty. And if any money is owed on them, they're not going to get paid. The fucking all of these super genius real estate, commercial, blah 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 blah, fucking hedge fund, real estate investment trust, they're all going to default on these fucking loans. Fuck the banks. Then the banks are going to go under or need to be bailed out, like 2008, 2009. But it's not going to be little residential houses. It's going to be like literally every fucking office building in the country. And what does that mean? It means fucking print to go burr. It means they're gonna print and print and print and print and print. And you need to protect yourself against that, because aside from the printing, the politics is gonna change. The politics, as people get poorer and poorer, and it's not like, oh gee, someday I hope to have a, if I just go deep enough into debt in college, I can get a job in that, white collar job in that office tower and have a middle class life. No, that ain't going to happen. And when people realize that isn't going to happen, they're going to decide, they're going to look at you and go, hey, what do you have? We're taking that. If you think that things are confiscatory now, wait 10 or 15 years. But I mentioned Natalie Brunell. Natalie Brunell interviewing the secret agent novelist. Natalie Brunell, Polish girl, by the way. I don't know if she was responsible for beaming the Bitcoin logo onto Poland's second tallest building. I don't know, maybe her cousin was, because she doesn't live in Poland anymore. She lives here. But our girl duking it out with one of the small hats on CNBC. This is what is it? This is 55 seconds of girl power. Well, our girl power, Natalie Brunell, anyway. By the way, the best looking female, maybe the best looking person in Bitcoin. So, here's a very clear delineation of the difference between a shiny yellow rock and Bitcoin.
If Natalie were smart, as soon as this segment is over, she would sell all of her Bitcoin. Because if she doesn't sell it now, she's going to sell it later at a much lower price.
Right. You know what? Bitcoiners don't feel the need to constantly attack gold because we're not threatened by gold. And the reason that we have this failed fiat experiment that has impoverished our nation is because of the defects of gold. The fact that it's not easily portable, it's not easily verifiable, it doesn't offer instant final global settlement. And so, you know what? Centralized authorities hijacked it. They papered over it, and we have a system of leverage and rehypothecation that hurts the working class. Bitcoin is immune to all of that. It is the savings account for billions of people that we really need and can most rely on, and it offers that final global settlement that we need. And so gold is the analog version of sound money, but Bitcoin is the digital version, and that's why it's going to be the faster horse in this race.
That's why it's going to be the faster horse in this race. She got a little, they must have been giving her like, you're running out of time, like hurried up, because she normally doesn't speak that fast. But Peter Schiff, famous gold bug, decides to just fucking attack her out of nowhere on a segment that was before that was going pretty well. And you know what? The girl stepped up and she did a bang up job. And the thing about Bitcoin versus gold, here's I got, in the halving, Bitcoin in 2020, right? Like I said earlier, was $9,000. 4 years later, we're at 60, I don't know, 65, 66. I don't know where the fuck we are. So, that's a significant jump. But a mere, 5 years ago, in 2019, there was another guy, he shows up on his financial shows, and this was the attitude. I'm going to show this for two reasons. One, to get you to think ahead 5 years, And two, to understand that the smart people, the people in the know, are as dumb as the fucking day is long.
Now, if you actually think it's undervalued by that extent?
Well, you know, we think the best approach for most people is just to put 1% or 2%.
Are you saying that? I get that if you're somebody who's got a lot of assets. I still think it's crazy. But for a retail investor, somebody who's saving for retirement and putting that aside, that seems crazy to me.
Well, it's basically the idea that, you know, you can afford to lose 1% if that's 1% of your portfolio.
That's crazy. You might as well throw it away on high fees to an investor, to an average. Like this, you're taking a flyer on that. You don't know where it's going to go or what's going to happen.
Well, in a way, that's right, Becky, that for the majority of people, it's, you know, 1% is like a small risk bet. But, you know, Bitcoin makes all of its gains in 10 days in a year. I think this is an example that, you know, if you exclude the 10 best days, Bitcoin loses 25% a year. So you got to essentially hold it or hodl it, as they say, to really capture the gains.
So in 2019, Bitcoin was $5,000. And this guy says, take 1%, and they fucking jump him, right? They're not doing that anymore. Now all of a sudden it's like, now all of a sudden everybody fucking loves it, right? But the battle between, you know, economic freedom and a lifetime or generational slavery, the battle against generational slavery is the battle of America. There's a cartoon. This is a great cartoon. It says everything I've ever said. And I like cartoons. I like cartoons more now than I did when I was a kid because I understand how effective they can be at getting ideas across. So here is a 1 minute, 25-second cartoon animated thing. USA versus the bankers.
During his re-election campaign in 1832, Andrew Jackson declared that if the American people will only realize how unjust our money banking system is, a revolution will start today, despite an attempted murder on January 30th, 1835, presumably at the hands of Richard Lawrence, a Rothschild agent, at the time of renewing the 20-year charter of the Second Bank of the United States in 1836. Jackson did collapse the bank by withdrawing all government deposits. He immediately repaid the national debt in full, leaving a surplus of $50 million in the Treasury coffers. The central bank was replaced by an independent treasury system based on paper money and redeemable coins. During the term of President John Tyler, 1841-45, Congress twice attempted to renew the charter of the Bank of the United States with the support of former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Henry Clay. Clay, who had become Grand Master of the Kentucky Lodge in 1820, was another agent probably in the service of the Rothschilds. Tyler vetoed both bills and was inundated with letters threatening him to death. Over the next 77 years, the United States managed to progress without needing a central bank. The means of exchange were financed primarily by debt and interest-free green notes, first issued by President Abraham Lincoln in 1862 to finance military spending during the Civil War.
So we've done it before. We've shut down the central bank. We've done this before in American history. It won't be the first time we do it, but this time when we do it, it will be permanent. This time when we do it, it will be permanent. It won't be tomorrow, but it is 100% coming, right? There is historic precedent. So they you know, if they want to do the most popular guy wins the White House, that's a two-edged sword, bro. That is definitely a fucking two-edged sword. And they're likely to lose that because we are, like, you know, I've said this 100 times. We're not fucking Republicans. We're not these fucking conservatards, these fucking gay ass fucking, my job is to show up and lose and collect a paycheck under the table. That's not who the fuck we are. We are lunatics, like fucking lunatics. And we always turn out to be right. In the long run, 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years out, we turn out to be right. And everyone fucking kicks themselves thinking, oh, I woulda, coulda, shoulda. I cannot emphasize strongly enough that you need to think 5 years ahead, right? When a guy from whatever, the Chinese guy going, hey, put 1% of savings in Bitcoin, and they shit all over him. Fuck you, this is stupid, it's retarded. Well, if you'd have done that, right, you'd be up 10x, you'd be up 12x, you know, from just 5 years. Please try to think 5 years ahead. Do you want to have 10 times more than you currently have? Or do you want to be sitting in a cardboard box on the side of the fucking road with a sign that says, you know, we'll work for fucking food, or we'll suddenly fucking criticize neoliberal democracy for fucking food, because that's where you're going to be. You don't want to be there, right? Even if you want to give all your Bitcoin to the reincarnated Hitler, first you got to fucking buy it today, right? So think ahead. Think ahead. Wait for, you know, Hitler to be reincarnated and then give away all your wealth. You're not going to do that. But that we're going to win because we, like, literally, we appeal to everyone's fucking self-interest. And there's no stopping this. They cannot fucking stop. They can't even stop our fucking messages, right? You know what I mean? They don't have a fucking response for it. What's his name? Our guys, and I never really considered them our guys, but there's an Egyptian dude I have. The Egyptians have apparently, yes, I have a 1:25 video of someone from the Middle East who has learned, who has apparently switched on his magical argument gene. And this is, you know, talking about the situation in the Middle East. But if you can finally think clearly, and make a coherent argument, you can shut your fucking opposition up completely. Check this out.
Don't feel able to express that.
No, I'm sorry. Did you say like an Islamic entity from the river to the sea? Did you say that?
I did.
But people who shouting from the river to the sea are not really Islamic. And they don't, and many of them don't even agree with Hamas. The river to the sea is a Palestinian chant, it's not an Islamic chant. That's number one. Number two, from the river to the sea is not coined by the Palestinians, it's coined by the Israelis. It's in the Likud party chart in 1977. They say from the sea to the Jordan, there are only going to be Israeli sovereignty. So they coined the thing before that. Second of all, when I criticize Israel, I criticize it because it's in the position of power. I'm absolutely no fan of Hamas. And you know from my history in Egypt, the Muslim Brotherhood doesn't like me, and I don't like them either. I am against a theocracy, and I'm against like religion being in politics, and that's why I find it very hypocritical from Israel saying that we are a secular, democratic state, and at the same time, just like we are a Jewish state. What are you? Are you a theocracy or a democracy? Are you something like for the secular for everybody, or you just like or exclusively for the Jews? And so that's why is it like when the West talks about everything, it's liberal, secular, democratic. Only when it comes to Israel, it's biblical. Why? You know, that's the problem. Try to convince me that Israeli have more right in this land, more than Palestinian, without using religion. They can't. Because it's even that the liberal Zionists, they're all about, oh, we're atheists, we don't believe in God. But it is the God gave them to them. They're promised people, promised land, promised by whom? Of chosen people. Chosen by whom? The God, my God, your God, whose God?
So when hot-headed Mediterraneans learn to argue, they get pretty good at it. But yeah, you need the ability to see through their argument and crush their argument is critical. Not really because you're going to shut them up, because nothing you're going to do is going to stop them. But you need to be clear in your own head why you're doing what you're doing. That way you never become subject to their to who's the most popular fucking dude. You know what I mean? And the ability to do that, to articulate that. I'm trying to, the fucking sportsbook guy's driving me nuts. I'm trying to, he's like, I want to scream with the stuff this guy says. He every fucking $200 jump of fucking Bitcoin, he's losing his fucking, what about this? What about that? What about, I was like, dude, like, you know, just ignore it. It's all background noise. 5 years from now, you wouldn't even remember this. Oh, I don't mind. I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I'm not worried. What about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? He's so locked onto his TV screens and all this shit. Like, everybody's that way. You know what I mean? You are passively accepting a lot of fucking stimulus that is being put out by people who do not have your best interest at heart. And you don't have a good way to push back against it. You don't have a good way to defang it, to remove the fucking power it has. But you can do that if you can just fucking think clearly, and that's what I try to help people do, right? And here's, well, I got to do this because we know we I don't think I can fucking go a week without this. Once again, Saint Michael, who lives on top of fucking Mount Olympus, Saint Michael Sailor, 50 seconds of why, again, explaining why it doesn't matter where the fuck you are on the planet, we're gonna fucking win this thing.
Bitcoin is really volatile, no doubt about it. It's hair on fire. And if you're going to be an investor for less than 12 months, you are just a speculator and you're a trader. And God bless you. If you go short, you make some money if you pick it right. But if you pick wrong, you get your face ripped off. And I don't know how to do that. I mean, you have to be a trader. But if your time horizon is 2 years, 4 years, 8 years beyond, and if you're buying it as a long-term store of value asset, are you disgusted with the manipulation of the fiat currency? Then you buy Bitcoin because you're angry that they keep printing more pesos and bolivars and dollars and euros. Are you disgusted that the CEO of your favorite company screwed you by making bad decisions? I won't name the company, fill in your own. Then you're going to buy Bitcoin. There's no CEO of Bitcoin.
Yeah. So, as a response to understanding what the world is doing, why continue to go along with them? You're not going to be right. If it really violates what you value, why the fuck are you going along with it? Why would you do that? Right? If you want something different, it's going to start with, all right, I'm not going along. I'm not going along with this thing that I absolutely fucking hate. And like I said, when whoever comes, when you think Jesus is coming back or Hitler's coming back, whoever the fuck you think is coming back to fix everything, he's not going to be impressed that you have a giant stack of fucking paper promises issued by central bankers. They're like, they're not, like, he's not going to be impressed. Your savior, whoever you think your savior is going to be, is not going to be impressed at all. So, last video, and this one requires you to watch. I'll show it a couple times. This is, and I'm not kidding you when Mark Zuckerberg is going to be president of the United States. He might have to battle Andrea Ocasio-Cortez, in a runoff battle. But listen to me when I tell you. Listen to me when I tell you. Mark Zuckerberg is running for president of the United States. And the way he's going to get the popular vote, right, is by attending UFC matches. The UFC, whatever, the Ultimate Fighting Competition, at MMA, punchy, kicky, twisty, bendy, fucking martial arts fucking thing. It's popular, by the way. It used to be super. It's the most popular sport in America. It was the most popular sport, by the way, in ancient Greece when it was called Pankration. But they had a recent event in Vegas or whatever the fuck it was. I don't know what it was. Zuckerberg, watch this. Like I said, I'm gonna run it a couple times. Zuckerberg's there with his wife, and his wife is doing what? He's got his wife tarted up, and he's got her doing. He's got her really underneath his fucking thumb. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna play it once, talk about it, play it again, talk about it again.
Yeah. Wait. Are you ready? Because the pressure's on you.
Okay. Don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up.
I'm really nervous. Okay. So he's coming in. Now he's there right now. He's gonna look. Okay. Give him. There you go. I like it. That's what we're doing. Do not do that. You're fucked up. You cannot do this. Okay. This is serious. Right. UFC 300. You say about that. Okay.
Did you?
If you want to, brace yourself and get down there. Roll under. All right. Go back again. Yeah. Now you back away. And you got Herb's gonna inspect you. And then Herb will come in. Goes,
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good to meet you, man. You are really enjoy watching you fight. It's
Thank you so.
Did you see that? You don't have fucking any idea how much there is to unpack in that video. Backstage at UFC 300, they have Mrs. Zuckerberg. She's gonna grease up. They put Vaseline around the eyes and cheeks of fighters. They've done this forever and ever, right? That's gonna be her role. Did you see she's wearing like the fucking whatever the loose fucking cotton thing? She's got no fucking bra on. She's nervous as fuck. But her hair's done. Zuckerberg standing there in a fucking t-shirt that's like, less expensive than the one I'm fucking wearing. And you hear him, he says, "Don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up." Right? All of this shit is super planned because I don't know who the fighter is. And the fighter's got to be like 5'2" because Zuckerberg is only 5'3". But she has to grease him up like this is what they do before they go into the octagon, before they go into the actual match, and then the referee pats them down to make sure they're not hiding any fucking hidden weapons or whatever. And she's super fucking nervous. She's laughing. She doesn't know what to do. She's like being like super crazy chink broad in front of this fucking pretty dangerous little karate midget. Right in front of her husband, and her husband's making her do this, right? Kind of like Abraham and his wives, Hey, honey, go hop in bed with Pharaoh, but that's what Zuckerberg's going to do, making his wife do now. He's making her look glamorous. This hot Asian chick is greasing up this dude before the fight, and then people are watching this, and he's like, "Don't fuck this up," because the image of Mark Zuckerberg as the jiu-jitsu bro, the dude who's down with combat sports and all this shit, and she manages to do the simplest fucking thing. Although, to be honest, going hands-on with somebody, like if you're not accustomed to this, like touching people, even mostly that's not done socially, that you don't know them, they're not family or whatever, some already intimate relationship. But combat sports people, they're punching, they're kicking, they're fucking wrestling, they're going hands-on all the time. They're not tentative with this. They're like fucking, they get in there, they're doing their jujitsu, they're doing their kickboxing, they're doing whatever. They're not tentative about coming into physical contact with another person. But someone from her social class, she doesn't understand how this really works, and they're walking her through it, right? And she's dressed a certain way. Like I said, if you look at it close, that video, she's not wearing a fucking bra. She's being presented as a certain thing, right? By her husband on TV in front of the fucking world. And when she finally successfully does it, like, okay, put your hand on the shoulder and then do the thing with the Vaseline, right? And she's like so happy that she did the most basic of fucking movement patterns. She's like, "Hey, high five." And then the guy's like, "I don't know, do I high five a chick over what?" Like this guy's a pro athlete. He's been fighting his whole life. Like you don't high five somebody for fucking rubbing your face with Vaseline. And then she leans in to give him a hug, but she makes sure to keep her hips back. Like, you know what I mean? And then the guy's like, "Oh shit. All right. Let me, that's awkward." And she's all wiggly and giggly. And then he's like, "Hey, Zuck, like, yo, bro, like, what's up?" He wants to go in for the bro hug, and fucking Zuckerberg holds him at a fucking distance. Like, Zuckerberg, there's fucking 2 feet of daylight between him and the fighter, right? He's like, "Yeah, love watching you fight, bro." Like, and I'm telling you, all of this, Mark Zuckerberg is not a fan of combat sports. This is entirely made for him to be popular UFC jiu-jitsu guy. He's been to a dozen fights, and blah 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 blah. And it's all about building his persona that gets him to be the most popular and gets him into the fucking fight. That's absolutely what's fucking happening. That is absolutely what's happening. Watch the whole thing again. Watch how crazy and fucking energized the wife is, and watch how fucking Zuckerberg is like, standing back, giving orders, but he doesn't want to appear directly to be giving orders to her. Don't fuck. He says, "Don't fuck this up." Looking sideways. He doesn't look directly at her. He doesn't point at her. They don't do that. But he's putting psychological pressure on her, and she's standing in front of like a fucking specimen of a dude, and she's having a fairly typical female reaction. Watch it one more time.
Yeah. Wait. Are you ready? Because the pressure's on you.
I'm nervous.
Don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up.
I'm really nervous.
Okay, so he's coming in. Now he's there right now. He's gonna look. Okay, give him. There you go. I like it. That's what we're doing. Do not do that. You're fucked up. You cannot do this.
Okay, okay.
This is serious. Right. UFC 300. You say about that. Okay.
Did you?
If you want to, brace yourself and get down there. Roll under. All right. Go back again. Yeah. Now you back away. And you got Herb's gonna inspect you. And then Herb will come in. Goes,
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good to meet you, man. You are really enjoy watching you fight. It's
Thank you so much.
How fucking whacked is that? There's so many fucking things to unpack there. There's so much to unpack there. But the basic message is Mark Zuckerberg is going to be president of the United States. I fucking guarantee you. And part of his appeal to the everyday guy who likes getting punched in the nose or watching other people get punched in the nose is he has to attend these fucking things. He has to attend a certain number of them. He's going to be backstage. There'll be still shots. They'll use this video. If this video doesn't work for them, they'll use different video. But that will establish his credibility, you know. And this is gonna put him in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And you need to have eyes to fucking see this, right? It's not just super rich people doing awkward shit in inappropriate fucking settings, in settings that's not appropriate for them, right? They go to fucking black tie events. They go to fucking galas. You know what I mean? Formal galas. They don't go to fucking a place where fucking sweaty fucking working class guys fucking knock the shit out of each other, right? That rattle each other's brains in their fucking skulls. That's not what rich people do, unless there's another reason. The other reason, right, is it really? I mean, Zuckerberg isn't really pimping out his wife, but it's sort of, kind of, almost. You know what I mean? Very Abrahamic. It's very much the story of Abraham there, but with a greater purpose, right? Right? Not to get more money because they've already given him more money than he knows what to do with. But he wants to be president, and this is his path to fucking victory. You need eyes to fucking see it, right? And anyway, that's what I try to do. Try to open your fucking eyes. Try to let you be aware of what's going on, and that way you can avoid doing stupid shit. Avoid getting caught in fucking YouTube honeypots. Avoid perpetuating this current system, which you don't like, right? And I'm trying to show you, if you can see it, a path to something better, right? And that's what this show is about. If you don't get it, you don't belong. To be perfectly honest, if you don't get this, you don't belong here. And you should be somewhere else. You should be at, the fucking whatever. Does Norman still have a fucking channel? You should be over in the Norman channel. Anyway, so I think I've run through pretty much everything. But we're gonna do stuff with that guy Jensen Huang in the future. Jensen Huang and his attitude and why he's fucking unbeatable. Why his company NVIDIA is unbeatable and why Bitcoin is unbeatable is all kind of intertwined in a very sort of happy coincidence, a very happy set of circumstances. But what was the other thing? This one I didn't show. This is what I didn't show. These guys, you're the big hope of the fucking BRICS. The BRICS Brazil, Russia, India, China, blah, 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 blah. You remember they were going to issue a currency backed by gold? Well, apparently they've abandoned that fucking idea. BRICS to replace US dollar with a shitcoin, excuse me, a cryptocurrency for trade. Yes, all of the BRICS are going to get together and create a shitcoin that they're going to trade back and forth for things of actual value. Do you really fucking think that's going to happen? No, it's not going to happen. When I tell you, and I'm not, listen, this is Russia was created by Wall Street. China was created by Wall Street. India's economy was created by Wall Street. Okay. All of it. They are followers. They are parasites. The various different shitty fucking criminal organizations on the other side of the fucking world that crush their fucking populace. Without the West, without America, those motherfuckers wouldn't have fucking running water. You know what I mean? So, all of this, we're gonna trade fucking paper receipts for gold. It's the BRICS currency. Oh no, you know what? We're gonna do cryptocurrency. They're all fucking. Really dismiss every fucking thing you have ever heard about. These are the parasites who live off of our parasites. The parasites that fucking suck the value out of us, give a certain portion of that to China, India, fucking Russia, and they resent it. They resent that they don't get more. But I really don't give a fuck that that there's discontent among the parasite class. I really don't give a fuck. But yeah, dismiss all of that shit. Dismiss everything. The only threat to the US dollar is Bitcoin. And since it's considered property right now, it's not a direct threat to the US dollar, which is good because that allows us to get super, super close to it, super close to where we need to be before we take them out. And we will eventually, we being Bitcoiners, will eventually take out the US dollar, not tomorrow, not even 5 years from now, but it will happen. Lastly, I'm in such a fucking good mood. I went today. What did I do today? I did something that was very good for my mental health. 2 weeks ago, the manlet was in the chat like, hey, James, you should buy a new fucking Harley Davidson touring motorcycle. Which is weird that he said that because I happen to be looking at motorcycles on Facebook Marketplace. Anyway, today, what I did was I went and test rode this bike, and I ended up buying it, although I don't have possession of it yet. I got to do the paperwork. The guy's a bit of a stickler for the legalities, but this is my new to me. It's not new. It's 2011. My new boomer cycle. Yes, that's right. STFU James is now officially a fucking boomer with the fucking boomer bike. Surprisingly, this thing was way more fun to ride than I thought it was going to be. Not going to rip your arms off out of your sockets with acceleration, but crazy fun. And yeah, that's what I did today. So for me, improving my mental health, doing shit I like to fucking do, and being away from the matrix, doing some boomer freedom shit, which I will be doing once I get the paperwork sorted out. In the meantime, the bike sits in that guy's garage. But real nice guy, and yeah, happy I did that. I'm much happier that I did that than I thought I was gonna. I had way more fucking fun in that thing than I thought I was gonna have. Anyway, that is that. We are 1 hour and 40 minutes. We've gone way over, but look at all the things we've covered. We've covered Bitcoin in Poland, in Thailand, BRICS losing their shit, Zuckerberg's path to fucking the White House. That they're going to set it up legally with the national popular vote fucking initiative or whatever the fuck it is. Commercial real estate's going to collapse this year. I'm guessing after the election. I'm guessing after Biden gets reelected, but who knows? They might not be able to prop it up long enough, but I'm guessing they could push it a year. And yeah, and we made it through the halving, and things going forward for us are just going to get better, and better. And you can join us anytime you want, but you got to want it, and you have to do it yourself, because nobody's coming to rescue you, kids. Remember that. No one's coming to rescue you or your children or your grandchildren. So with that, we have to remind you, if you've been here this entire time, to smash up the like button. It's just a simple like button smash. Easy to do. Doesn't cost anything. And since most of the alphabet people already know you're watching this channel and you're already on some fucking list somewhere, you might as well smash up the like button and say what the fuck. Because even if you don't do that, even if you don't smash up the like button, they'll fucking present evidence in court that you probably did. Sucks, right? That's why we Bitcoin. Bitcoin fixes that. Anyway, it is, we are in a new fucking era, and things are about to get super fucking interesting and super good if you have your mind right and you're acting correct. That being said, to everybody who is watching the show, everyone's going to watch the show in the weekend, which is probably, or in the coming week, I should say, which is like 2 more people. Thanks for stopping by, guys, and I will see you again next week.